Butts in the Seats podcast, episode 2, now with a theme music that I don't know what it's going to be as of me saying this, but it's probably the Nitro theme or something. Probably not the Thunder theme.
Please God, don't let it be the NWO theme.
I considered it very strongly. This watching session was frustrating for both of us.
It truly was. We had to reformat a few things, so we'll get into that whole mess.
Let's talk about good things in wrestling.
Okay.
We are going to go a little bit at a time introducing ourselves, because last episode 1, Halloween Havoc 1998, if somehow you're listening to this and haven't listened to that one,
go listen to that one.
We talked about a lot of stuff, and then we were done recording, and it was about 3.5 hours or even longer, and it's like, okay, we'll cut some of this. So I think we cut talking about who some of our favorite wrestlers are.
Oh.
So, Emily, any notable wrestlers you want to mention in terms of your personal taste?
I mean, I have two that I don't think can do any wrong, and that's Chris Jericho and Mick Foley. Like, every time I see Chris Jericho, I just get happy. Even though, like, his run in WWE in 2002 when we're watching it is kind of boring, like, he's still fun to watch and he's fun to listen to. And then Mick Foley is just an overall perfect human, and I love him.
You also enjoy Edge and Scotty 2 Hotty, which anytime I ask you this, just anywhere, you forget about them.
I've been forgetting about Scotty 2 Hotty. I have, because he's not on my screen.
What are you, the WWE booking team in 2002?
I don't really know if I consider Edge my favorite wrestler. He's definitely my favorite to look at. But in terms of, like, skill set, I don't know if he's, like, my favorite. Like, he's good. I like him a lot. But, like, he's just hot. Who are some of your favorites, Nick?
I think through watching a bunch of SmackDown, I came to the realization that Kurt Angle's my favorite wrestler.
Yes, you've said this.
Because when I was showing you matches early in our relationship, it occurred to me that most of them had Kurt Angle.
Yeah, but we realized that, like, way later down the line.
I would also say post Finding Jesus Shawn Michaels, when it's like okay, he used to be a dickhead. I don't have to really deal with that as much now. He just has great matches.
Fair.
Daniel Bryan, CM Punk come to mind. Anyone else I talk about a bunch?
Like, when we first started dating, I thought it was Steve Austin. I thought Steve Austin was your favorite. But then I bought you Steve Austin merch and you weren't all that excited about it. And then I found out that he's not your favorite.
Well, he's not my favorite. You also bought a Stone Cold Steve Austin baseball jersey.
Yeah.
And depending on how much you know about wrestling merch, there is an official, like, he wears it on screen, Steve Austin baseball jersey. I think you told me that you got me, like, a Steve Austin baseball jersey, and I thought it was that one. And then I opened it and it was like, oh, this is like something Hot Topic would make.
But I got it from the WWE Network. And we'd only been dating for like 2 months at this point. This was Christmas. I didn't know. Like, we hadn't deep dove as much as we have now.
Well, I guess there is also that line of you're happy to see somebody in a match versus you're happy to see someone come out to, like, do an interview. Or you're Buff Bagwell and I'm not happy to see you on screen.
Yeah.
Which ties into an issue we had. So our original plan was to review all of Nitro, all of Thunder, and kind of do it for various weeks. We were going to try to speed through it a little bit, but we started watching, and I think we got halfway through Alex Wright versus Barry Horowitz, and we realized that we wouldn't have much to say about a good amount of it.
I thought we got farther than that, but...
I might have been further than that, but we thought it would be more of an interesting listen for us to do potted highlights rather than go week by week watching a 3-hour Nitro and then in a 2-hour Thunder. We originally planned to talk about Thunder, and then we watched bits of Thunder and realized there was nothing important to say about Thunder. So for the time being, we plan on just doing potted highlights. Once things pick up a little bit more, basically once Vince Russo shows up, so we got about a year, we might start doing weekly, as was our original plan, but...
Yeah, the idea for an episodic review of Nitro really went out the window when we were watching Nitro, and I looked over at Nick on the couch, and he was visibly angry and frustrated.
Because we'd also planned to talk about multiple ones in the same episode, and we kind of had to make a choice of, do we want to start reviewing every Nitro and Thunder now? and have those be separate episodes? Or did we want to brush through some of it that we didn't think mattered as much? And some of it we watched and went, not all important, and we're not going to talk about it. So we are trying our best to hit all the important points, but not everything is an important point.
Yeah. I also did not realize that Nitro was a 3-hour show.
Yes. Do you know why it's 3 hours?
Because Raw is 2 hours.
Yep.
And they wanted to be better than Raw.
Yep.
Yeah, because we did the Halloween Havoc episode, and I was like, okay, the pay-per-view episodes, they're gonna be longer. Sure. There's more to do there. There's more content, so there's more to talk about. And then we turned on Nitro, and it's the same amount of time. And I'm like, no. This is ridiculous.
Part of the reason why we don't currently watch Raw in 2020 is...
because it's so long.
3 hours every week just feels...
unnecessary?
Yeah. And that's not a new opinion.
And me saying it's unnecessary is coming from someone whose favorite show is Big Brother, who airs a 1 hour episode 3 times a week. So if I'm saying that 3 hours of content a week is too much, like...
But when you have 3 hours of television, you also assume that you would be able to budget that time efficiently.
You would assume.
There's no real spot to talk about it, but we watched through separately just because we kept putting off wanting to watch it, and we're already on episode 2. Not a great sign.
Right.
But WCW doesn't know how to end a segment.
No, they really
don't. They just cut to commercial.
They do basically the equivalent of a song fade out. They're like, we don't really know how to finish this. Just fade to black. Or cut to commercial in the middle of the interesting parts. Let's just get into it because I'm already getting annoyed.
So first up, we're going to be talking about the October 26th, 1998 Nitro. If for some reason you wanted to watch along, I
don't recommend it.
Yeah, we'll tell you if anything's really worth checking out. But it opens with Nitro stills, which you got introduced to for the first time, which you got immediately annoyed by.
Yeah, it was very annoying to watch because I know that it's a thing where, like, they can't show footage from the pay-per-views because, like, people paid for it and you shouldn't, like, shortchange them. I think that, like, WWE has done that before, too. So I was like, okay, this is annoying and I hate it, but, like, I understand. And I voiced this to you when we were watching and you were like, oh, no, that's, like, a weekly occurrence. Why?
Yeah, I don't know how much of it is broadcast and pay-per-view rules versus other stuff, because like I've seen WWE video packages where they like will show some of the video and then it'll like kind of like freeze frame slow motion, but they'll have the regular audio keep going, or like they won't actually show the pinfall and it's like fine. It's like half meant to be artsy, half meant to like, oh yeah, we can't actually show you certain bits, it feels like. So
yeah,
I don't know how much of it is business versus like contracts.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about contracts, but...
However, one of the first things they do is tell you that they are going to be showing some footage from the pay-per-view.
Yes.
Because they do address that, hey, yeah, we cut out... I thought it was just the Goldberg match. I didn't realize it was the end of Hogan Warrior as well. Which, probably better off not showing that one.
But yeah, in case you guys haven't listened to episode 1, the ending of Halloween Havoc, the main event, if you will, the last match, got completely cut because they went overtime. So nobody saw, it was DDP Goldberg?
It wasn't that nobody saw it. It was just a matter of like a good, decent-sized portion of the pay-per-view audience. They probably downplayed the number on Nitro. Okay. But it was enough people where they felt the need to show it.
Fair. So they said in the episode, okay, we're going to re-show the match. Once in a lifetime, this one time only.
Yeah, note that. However, when are they going to air it?
They say later on tonight.
No, they say at 9 o'clock.
Oh, do they say the time?
This is not a ratings ploy, but we're going to be putting it on right when Raw starts, so you should watch that. It's like, you're kind of undercutting your point when you say it's not a ratings ploy and then put it on directly against your competition. Like, the first second you have competition.
We really did notice that in this episode, too, that, like, the first hour of this show is some hot garbage.
The first hour is what made us change up our strategy.
As soon as the second hour started and they started going head-to-head with Raw, shockingly, they had their good matches.
Also, I feel like it undercut the goodwill of them trying to be like, hey, listen, folks, we're sorry. And you have Larry Zbyszko in the background, like, hot dog until Larry chants. Who also was talking about computer issues, and he mentioned the KY2 bug.
I noticed that. The KY2, which I didn't realize was something on people's minds in 1998. I thought that was a 1999 problem.
So we start off with Stevie Ray versus Kenny Chaos, except we don't. We're skipping ahead. Because we're going to skip that. We skipped Ken... Oh, sorry. We skipped that, and then the Nitro opening happened.
Yeah.
And then Canyon and Prince Iaukea.
Which I will say, I kind of like Prince Iaukea because he's not like a gimmicky Hawaiian Polynesian role. He's not like a fucking voodoo king like they are known to do in wrestling. He actually held his own. He wasn't a bad wrestler. Like I did kind of enjoy his match. The only voodoo king I can think
of, pretty sure is not Hawaiian.
I don't know. Any like Samoan character they bring out always has some like big gimmick, and it's annoying because it undercuts if they're a good wrestler or not. And Prince Iaukea actually was a good wrestler. I kind of enjoyed that match.
So the first point in the episode we are actually going to talk about is a Mean Gene interview with the Four Horsemen. So this iteration of the Four Horsemen is Ric Flair, Dean Malenko, Chris Benoit, Arn Anderson, and missing in action, Mongo McMichael.
Mongo is the only one that I really don't understand in those four, because it's also 5.
Yes.
And I don't understand where Mongo has a spot in there, but whatever.
Occasionally, the Four Horsemen is 5 people. Sometimes it's...
Are we counting the horse in the Four Horsemen? There's 4 guys and a horse? Is Mongo the horse?
See, what I always kind of used to think it was is it's Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen.
Oh, it's like a Gladys Knight and the Pip sort of situation.
Interesting choice, but
first one that came to mind.
That's how I kind of understood it at a certain point. Plus, Ric Flair had been out of the company and just recently returned, and they kind of want to keep the Horsemen going.
Actually, I will take back that Mongo is the one that seems out of place. Because Mongo's a wrestler. So is Chris Benoit. So is Dean Malenko. So is Ric Flair. Why the fuck is Arn Anderson there?
He's a wrestler.
Is he?
Yeah.
Have I ever seen him wrestle?
He's a fantastic wrestler.
Have you ever shown me any of his matches?
I don't think so.
We should do that.
He's a little bit older, so that's probably why.
I just thought that he was like an administrative whatever. I was like, he's not a wrestler. Why the hell are you here?
Also, you've just given Mongo a bigger compliment than I think he's ever gotten.
By calling him a wrestler?
He's a wrestler. You know, just like Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit.
Well, okay,
Mongo's a former football player and is the most green of that group by a country mile.
If anybody asked during this time, what's your job? He would say wrestler.
Yeah.
As would Chris Benoit, as was Dean Malenko,
as would Arn Anderson.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, you have...
At this time?
You have seen an Arn Anderson match.
Oh, no. Not a gimmick match.
What do you mean not a gimmick match?
Not like a you're fired, not like a Vince McMahon and like the what are they the 2 croonies that he has? Oh, the 2 old white guys.
You're thinking of Patterson and Briscoe?
Yeah, nothing like that.
They have matches.
They're not wrestlers. They're not wrestlers either.
No, well, I was gonna say.
Well, me Street Posse's are.
So you have a different definition of gimmick match than most people, because like Hell in a Cell or a ladder match is a gimmick match.
Because to me, it's like wrestlers that aren't wrestlers fighting other wrestlers that aren't wrestlers.
That's more garbage brawls than anything.
Fair. Okay. We'll call it a garbage brawl.
But the match you have seen of Arn Anderson was an uncensored 1996, that triple Doomsday Layer cage match.
Arn Anderson was in that?
Yes.
Oh, God, why?
Because Hulk Hogan wanted to beat everybody. You're right. Maybe I should show you some more Arn Anderson, because that's not a good representation.
That sigh is just how I feel about wrestling and Hulk Hogan at this time. Okay.
So I have to ask you, Dean Malenko in 98, is he a hunk? The Iceman, is he a hunk?
I don't think Dean Malenko knew where he was during this. He just looked very much not there. So I'm gonna go with no.
Why not? Come on.
He looked unimpressed, unenthused, uninterested, and just disconnected.
Well, his character is basically that I want to wrestle, and that's it.
Yeah, but still. I'm gonna go with no.
So they don't say too much anything, and then Eric Bischoff comes out.
Ooh, Leather Daddy Bischoff. Yes.
Yeah, I guess that is a way to put it. So yeah, he's been feuding with the Four Horsemen, really more Ric Flair. Some of that has been real behind the stage politics, and some of it's been, I guess more recently it's been on screen, because because for a while, like, he'd be backstage, like not on TV, just backstage, like, I'm going to make him homeless.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they don't get along. Bischoff comes out and says he underestimated Ric Flair, says he means a lot to the fans, and the fans want to see him wrestle, so he's going to wrestle on TV tonight.
Woo! And then Ric Flair is like, I'll be ready in 10 minutes.
Yeah, no opponent is announced. And Flair's like, I don't trust you, but I'll be there.
But they kept saying he's gonna wrestle tonight.
He's gonna be wrestling on TV tonight. And then the segment just kind of fades out.
Yeah, that's kind of it. It was supposed to just be like a hype segment. Like, yeah, Ric Flair's gonna wrestle.
Yeah, just like I'm saying, just one of those, like, they don't know how to end a segment.
Well, yeah. That's an ongoing theme.
Next up on our skip list, we have the aforementioned Alex Wright versus Barry Horowitz. Move on from that.
I do love Alex Wright, though. We watched him for Halloween Havoc, and I love him. I'm
seeing, there is definitely more stuff that we watched that we're skipping over. I'm looking through the notes I took originally, and I'm like, oh yeah. Because we're skipping, I'm just mentioning this because I literally have a joke I like about it. It was Sick Boy versus Wrath. I wrote Battle of the Xbox Live gamer tags.
I am hopeful that Alex Wright gets a pay-per-view run and we have a reason to watch him.
I think we might have missed it.
Ah, okay. Because I do love Das Wunderkind.
He might. I imagine he'll be in the World War III match.
Okay.
There's 60 guys in it. It makes sense he'll be in there.
Oof, 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 oof.
Next up, we have Mean Gene interview with Kevin Nash. So we're going to do a little role play here. Spice things up. I'm going to be Kevin Nash. You be Scott Hall. Hey, Scott, what are you doing here? Yeah, and that's our recap of that, because Jesus Christ, we could not hear a word either of them said.
And God bless production, because they were trying. You could hear them, like, turning up the microphone and, like, begging something to make a sound and make a, like, discernible word.
So what I gathered through context clues, which that should just be Mean Gene's nickname, is context clues, because that man is constantly trying to be like, oh, don't you mean this? It's like, that man is steering things.
That man has a script, and he's going to stick to it, even if you do not.
It seemed like Kevin Nash was like, oh, I'm sorry I had to beat up Scott Hall. And Scott Hall comes in and is like, it's all water under the bridge. And then the Giant just comes in and attacks him.
Appears as if from nowhere.
Jump scare Big Show. Just comes in and they throw him through the fakest looking wall.
That mall.
It looked fine. It looked fine when it was there. And then we went through it. I'm like
that wall was cardboard.
Yeah. Well, they clearly just blocked out part of the room and just put up the thing. And they're just like, yep, there you go.
Yeah. It was just the flimsiest wall. If I like poked it, I would have put a hole in it. But I did kind of get mad because the couches that were in that room looked so cozy. And did you notice where Kevin Nash decided to sit? On the arm of that couch. Like, you have this cozy-ass couch that I would love to sit on and take a nap on. But you sit on the arm. Like, it made me mad. I was also having a rough day when I was watching this. So, everything was making me mad.
Oh, not to cause controversy on this podcast, but we're also skipping over the Judy Bagwell promo.
Cliff Notes, she's upset with her husband. Nope.
Her son.
Cliff Notes, she's upset with her son.
Emily, you may not understand this phrase now, but very soon the phrase Judy Bagwell on a forklift will mean something to you.
You've said that to me before. I still don't understand the context, but you've definitely said that to me before.
Oh, God. The thing is, I don't even know when it happens, so it's gonna be announced, and I'm gonna freak out.
That's the one shining light that we're looking forward to by watching Nitro.
And that might be on pay-per-view.
That's fine. Something to look forward to.
So the first match we're actually gonna be talking about is The Giant and Stevie Ray versus Rick Steiner and Kenny Chaos for the WCW Tag Team Championships.
Kenny Chaos.
Why did Rick Steiner pick Kenny Chaos?
I don't know.
So earlier in the broadcast, Kenny Chaos lost to Stevie Ray, and then Big Show came out to beat him down.
No, the Giant.
Sorry, the Giant. That man needs to leave. I can't do it. The Giant came down and beat him down, and then Rick Steiner made the save and is like, "You want to be a tag team champion with me?" It's like, why?
Yeah, I remember thinking about this the first time we watched it, because this was in our initial run-through before we gave up. I remember thinking, like, so you chose the less interesting person that lost an uninteresting match to be your tag team partner.
Well, he's not going to pick Stevie Ray in the NWO.
Yeah, but still, like, why do you have to choose from that match?
I don't know.
Like,
yeah, we were kind of pondering, in the last episode, like, I wonder who's gonna pick. And I think you guys Sting, and it's like I think we're as far from that as we can get. So they mentioned that Chaos is completing his second year as a professional wrestler, and after watching his match, I can tell you that is not a lie.
The other thing they were harping on in this match was the youthful inexperience of Kenny Chaos. And then they're like, this 28-year-old who's so youthful and so inexperienced. He's fighting the Giant, who's probably like, what, 21, 22 in this match?
He's older. We looked at it last time. He's younger than Kenny Chaos, though.
But, like, most wrestlers that he fights are younger. Like, why is 28 youthful?
Did you notice the Giant wasn't smoking this episode?
Yeah, he really lost some badass points from me.
Like who was he? He was just another guy.
Just another guy.
Just another 7 foot 450-pound guy.
Oh, they also said that the Giant is the largest athlete in pro sports. Is that true?
Depends on... Largest is relative. Because most guys who are 7 foot aren't 450 pounds.
Fair.
So it's a very selective measurement of... Because they're not saying he's the tallest or the
heaviest or the... Yeah.
Yeah. Largest is relative because they still say that.
Yeah, that's true.
And depending on the year, Big Show goes anywhere from like 400 pounds to like 500. Did you notice the botched kick out from the Giant?
I did not.
So Kenny Chaos goes to pin him and the Giant goes
he,
to
goes to
do the press out of it. But the ref goes down to count and like doesn't slap the mat for. He like misses the mat for one, but like still counts it.
Oh.
So then he counts 2, and then he literally goes to count 3, and he doesn't kick out because he didn't hear the first one.
Jesus.
They're like, oh, he got his shoulder up, or he's in the ropes, or something, and I'm like, that's.
Well, I mean, how could Chaos pin the Giant? He's so big.
It's not a Royal Rumble.
He's so big. How could you defeat him? But I did like...
No, Giant does not get pinned in this match, I was going to say.
No.
He got pinned on Sunday.
I did like in this match the mid-bear hug tag.
So, related to the Giant botching, I don't know what happened with the finish, because he just walks out of the ring in the middle of Rick Steiner setting up for his finisher. Yeah. It's like, oh, he went after Chaos. I'm like...
He just kind of like rolled out of the ring very slowly.
No, because he climbs over the top rope.
Oh,
so
it's
it is a very slow process of just like,
I'm out.
Like, you kicked him out of the ring and then just like, no, go get Rick Steiner.
Yeah, this match was
although
underwhelming.
the Giant is a kayfabe idiot.
Oh, is he?
I mean, just in general, the character Paul White plays in pro wrestling pretty much always seems to be a bit dumb.
I don't think of him as dumb in the NWO. I don't think of him as, like, stupid. Like, when he goes to WWE, he, like, becomes a little silly.
Like, it's never... I don't know how ever intentionally stupid it's supposed to look. Example, when he debuts in February in WWF, the first thing he does is, like, come through the ring to interfere in a Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon cage match and accidentally make Steve Austin win. Because he throws him too hard and the cage wall, like, opens. He debuts by fucking up.
I don't know. I never thought of him as, like, the big bumbling idiot.
I don't think it's what they're going for. I think just the way they write him, that is it. So, yeah, Rick Steiner hits the finisher he was setting up for, and they retain.
Woo!
Which, I don't know why it was Stevie Ray and not Scott Steiner, or... I guess Scott Steiner's kind of ducking his brother, but was the tag match... When it was originally booked, was Stevie Ray part of the tag match?
I don't
Because he had a match earlier the night.
Yeah, I don't think so.
So why would the NWO pick Stevie Ray? I mean, I guess he beat Chaos earlier, if you want to go with that, but, like, why are you sending out a guy? There's 4,000 people in the NWO.
Yeah, I was going to ask you for a rundown of who's in the NWO later on, but I'm not even sure you could.
We need a spin-off episode for that. Thoughts on the match?
I don't like Stevie Ray's singlet.
Yeah.
It's really ugly.
Yeah, it's not a great look. Also, I guess because he uses it, but I don't understand the obsession with the slapjack.
I like that it's on his butt cheeks, because you can slap him.
Now, what if there was a wrestler just called Slapjack?
I'm surprised there's not.
There is.
Ah, there you go.
He's part of Retribution. Along with Mace and, like, T-Bar.
Who?
Oh, yeah. So next up, we have Eric Bischoff coming out for a swerve. Because Ric Flair is going to wrestle on TV tonight. We're going to show footage, very selective footage of their match from Bash at the Beach 1994. Which I did laugh at them being... I know this one isn't in its entirety. But what do they say about the Goldberg DDP match?
Never done this before. This is a once in a lifetime thing. We don't re-show pay-per-view footage. This is once in a lifetime, one time only.
And then they showed the main event. I mean, granted, it's from 4 years previous, but it's like, oh, you kind of undercut that. So it's very selective editing that it's just anytime Ric Flair looks like a coward, because he was at the time kind of a chicken shit heel, and Hogan was the face. Like, that's Hulk Hogan's debut match.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He only debuted 4 years before this?
In WCW.
Oh. Yeah, this whole segment really frustrated me because I went through like my whole thought process on this. Like, oh, so he's not wrestling? Okay, so we're just going to watch Ric Flair's greatest hits. That's kind of dumb. Oh, no, it's not Ric Flair's greatest hits. It's one match, and we're not seeing all of it. We're only seeing little bits. And then he loses in that match. It's Eric Bischoff being a dick, but... Yeah. I was getting very frustrated.
Yeah, it is a little frustrating, but also it's like they're obviously building towards him eventually having a match. I don't know if that's going to be with Hogan or with Bischoff.
At this point, I kind of hope it's both. Bischoff.
Yeah, my gut's saying Bischoff, but like I wouldn't be upset with Arn Anderson and Ric Flair versus Hogan and Bischoff.
That could be good. If you show me Arn Anderson matches, that can prove to me that he's an actual wrestler.
Yeah, I think it's already happened where they had a match of... It was Hogan and Bischoff versus... I want to say like DDP and Jay Leno.
Okay.
Yeah. So Hogan and Bischoff have teamed together on pay-per-view.
Kinda. So, they had a whole point in that. They had a whole thing in this whole Ric Flair thing about the phrase "by golly." I don't remember the whole like context for it, but like the commentators just went off on like "by golly."
I'll be honest. I as soon as they were showing the like oh, it just be this match, I'm like, okay, I get the gist, and I just tuned out. However, I did tune back in for why was Shaquille O'Neal there at the end of that match in '94?
I missed that.
Yeah, Mr. T and Shaq were there. Mr. T shows up in wrestling every now and again.
Did he pity the fool?
Probably. But yeah, for some reason, Shaq was there.
Maybe he's a fan. Put him on a scale next to the Giant. Let's see who's bigger.
Shaq has actually wrestled in 2 matches, I want to say.
He's so big.
The last time I remember him showing up is he was a surprise entrant for one of the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royals. I think it was WrestleMania 32, because I think it was one that, like, everybody just wanted to die at that point. But he did that, and then I think on, like, a random Raw that he hosted, he's, like, faced off with Big Show. Big Show always wanted to have an actual, like, match with him. I don't know if they had a match that one, or if it was just, like, a stare down, and they kind of brawled a bit. Yeah,
anyway.
I don't know why he was there.
Yeah, that is strange. I didn't even notice him.
So they cut back to the live arena, and Eric Bischoff says, Ric Flair will always be second fiddle to Hulk Hogan. And that's it.
That's kind of it. But I also noticed that after this segment was kind of done, the commentators were like, oh, that was so evil and vile of Eric Bischoff.
Well, 2 of them were.
I cannot remember the commentators' names to save my life.
Oh, I'm saying Bobby.
So to me, they are all the one person.
No, Bobby Heenan. Oh, you gotta learn who Bobby Heenan is. He's
I will
great.
eventually.
Oh, he's like, no, it was great. Except for the fact that there's the issue of Bobby Heenan kayfabe hates Hulk Hogan.
Oh, really?
Because
that's fun.
Both of them were in WWF and like main like Hulkamania era kind of
Is Bobby Heenan also a wrestler?
I'm thinking back to it. I don't know if he wrestled, it would have been a long time ago. I forget if he ever had an in career, if he just became a manager. But like he was a manager and commentator in WWF in like the kind of mid to late 80s, and was always a heel and hated Hogan. So when Hogan heel turned and joined the NWO, he was like, "I told you so. I told you he was a piece of shit."
Ugh.
So next up, we have Juventud Guerrera versus Kidman.
Hoovy.
Which we need to address the fact that Disco Inferno got screwed over.
Yeah, what?
So Disco won against Hoovy at Halloween Havoc, and then had to wrestle again the same night against Kidman. Hoovy lost and gets in a title match the next night, fresh. And I'm like,
yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I liked this match. I like Juventud Guerrera, and I love Kidman.
Hoovy is very flippy. He's like
very flippy.
I thought Kidman's offense is weird because he wrestles like a power guy, but he's a cruiserweight. I guess, somebody needs someone needs to be the power of that division, but he doesn't wrestle like a high flyer.
He doesn't, but he's got like a good pacing to him that makes his matches really interesting to watch. Like, I don't have a lot to say about this match or the other Kidman match that we watched, just because like I was watching the screen and I was like into it, because when it, like these fast-paced matches, that's what gets my attention. That's why I kind of like the cruiserweights, because it's like nonstop and it keeps moving. It's like the big guys that just like kind of stand in the corner and like punch each other in the face. Like, that's kind of it.
Yeah. I just wish they had a little bit more character. Like, they're both very white meat babies. Hoovy way more so.
Oh, Hoovy definitely
I think I compared him like the 1-2-3 Kid last episode, and it's like that is very much that.
I still found it very fun to watch. I really liked this match.
Did you like the top rope Hurricane Rana?
Yes.
I thought you would. So I noticed a trend, and I want us to keep track of this. During the Disco Inferno Kidman match from Halloween Havoc, Disco was going for a pile driver or a power bomb, and he got countered into like a face buster. Mm-hmm. Hoovy goes for a power bomb out of nowhere, and it gets countered into a face buster. That's two. We'll note that.
Okay.
Is
this a Kidman thing?
We'll see.
Do you not know? Or you do know? You totally know.
I don't. I'm saying we'll see what happens in his match later. And much like the match on Sunday and the match later, Hoovy almost kills his opponent with a shooting star press.
Yeah.
His knee almost smashes right into Hoovy's head.
Shooting star presses scare me.
I know. And they shouldn't. They're beautiful.
They are very pretty, but when they go wrong, they go very wrong.
Yeah, it's like
they could go very wrong.
I've shown you a couple of like Evan Bourne's ones. Mm-hmm. I also showed you the one recently where where he debuts at AEW and crashes and burns because he like slips.
Oh God, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's the same guy. It's like poor guy.
Oh, Hoovy.
No, not Hoovy. That's Evan Bourne. I don't know who.
Oh my God, it's Jason Bourne.
Oh, God. I don't know how to move on from that. I thought this was a pretty good match.
I really liked it.
I have different expectation for Nitro matches as opposed to do for pay-per-view matches, so I don't know how I compare it to the other ones.
I'm still trying to compare Nitro to SmackDown. Like apples to apples, kind of, even though you said this is the equivalent to a Raw. Yeah. But I'm comparing what I know to what I know. And I feel like this is a match that would not be out of place on SmackDown.
No. So after this, they cut to commercial after giving them 4 seconds to celebrate.
Oh yeah, there is no breathing time after any of these matches. You don't let anything sit and just be.
I don't know if that'll slow down or not. I mean, you have 3 hours, you make it work.
I just feel like you could have a little bit of breathing room in 3 hours. They put a lot of matches in 3 hours. I know that WWE has more of a tendency to do backstage funsies and stupid shit.
Yeah, very little. I would say I think there's one thing backstage, and it was Bret Hart being taped up.
Yeah.
Because they tend to kind of just cut to the commentators instead. Mm-hmm. And they did after this match, and I have the smallest of gripes, but it did piss me off. I don't even know. You might have just skipped right over it, but they had two videotapes they were selling.
Oh yeah, I skipped this.
It was Randy Savage, the man behind the madness.
I did not skip this.
And they had Sting unmasked.
Yes.
Sting doesn't wear a mask.
Sting wears face paint.
Yes.
Sting is a face paint character. He's not a mask character. He's not Kane, even though I swear he wants to be Kane.
He doesn't.
They
are extremely different.
Agree to disagree, because their characters may be different.
You read a book about Kane.
Shut up. We don't need to talk about that. I'd like to remove that from my brain, from my memory, if I could possibly do that. but you won't let me.
No, Sting's a former surfer character.
How did he get into this?
He watched The Crow.
The Crow?
The movie The Crow.
I never saw that. I don't know, but regardless, he's not a masked wrestler,
No,
so
he's not.
They're marketing him as something that he is not. Well, anyway.
Next up, we have a Scott Steiner and Buff Bagwell promo. Was not as fun.
No, but cue the fucking NWO music.
Yeah.
For probably, the third time tonight at this point? Have we even hit the second hour? And we've at least 3.
We have, because Goldberg...
Oh yeah, that already happened. Okay.
So Scott comes out and calls Buff the best setup man in the business, which I feel like then kills his ability as a setup man.
Yeah.
You would think, but the next episode, it's fine.
This whole segment was just like, friends for life, best buddies, fuck women.
They do say they're friends for life, and then they hug.
They do. They're best buddies.
Was this the one where he uses gay slurs against Roddy Piper?
I don't think so.
Okay. It's one of
Maybe.
them. He definitely, because I was like, oh, Scott Steiner promos are usually fun. Maybe I'll cut them in. And it's like, oh, nope.
I liked the line in this one, though. Do you love me for my mind, or do you love me for my body?
Buff Bagwell just points to him the whole time. All right. How do you feel about Buff Bagwell constantly just jumping around the ring and pointing at Scott Steiner?
That honestly doesn't bother me.
Does he
I don't
add
really
to
care.
it, or is he annoying to you?
He does nothing to me. So I guess, neither here nor there, I guess.
Yeah. How'd you feel about Buff Bagwell saying that women's
Listen
place
up, women.
is in the house
and in the kitchen.
Cooking and cleaning and taking care of their man. And then he tells his dad to get his mom oh God, what did he say? It was set her straight. And
yeah.
I'm like,
listen up, women.
Jeff Jarrett, 99 vibes. Relatedly, you excited to eventually see Jeff Jarrett?
No. I'm just like, the actual reason that Buff is out here was not for declarations of friendship or for degrading women. He wants a rematch with his brother, yes?
Scott wants it.
Scott wants a rematch.
Well, he says he wants it.
I think.
Well, that's what he
Does
says.
he want it?
He calls J.J. Dillon out so he can book a rematch.
Okay, I didn't know he called JJ out. I thought AJJ just came out.
No. He said, I want J.J. Dillon here because I want to have a rematch.
Oh, okay.
Because he specifically needs J.J. Dillon because
they're pissed at him.
He wants J.J. Dillon, and then Dillon comes out and is like, we're in the third hour. We don't have the fucking time for this. And he's like, nah, I lied. Why was there a different ref that finished the match than started it? And for the life of me, I don't understand why J.J. Dillon doesn't actually say, because Buff Bagwell beat him up.
Yeah, that's what I was confused
He's like,
by, too.
oh, if you watch the replay, It's like, just
say the actual reason.
You think I'm going to buy a pay-per-view after the fact? After I watch Nitro, does I watch fucking, why was there a different ref in Scott Steiner's match?
Yeah, that didn't make any sense to me. Like, that actually made me think that I missed something.
No, just J.J. Dillon didn't defend himself, and then they beat up J.J. Dillon.
Yeah.
And he puts him in the Steiner recliner, which, oh man, that is one of the worst looking finishing submission moves I think I've seen.
But the commentary when they put him in that hold, did you hear it?
I know, I think I missed it.
You can't do that to that man. That man's wearing glasses.
Oh, I did. You're right, because I think about how I watched that and I think about how you wear glasses, and I was like,
you can't do that. I'm wearing glasses.
I need to put her in the Steiner recliner. So yeah, and then security gets in the ring and they just cut the commercial.
Yeah, they don't let it finish.
Yeah, they just
cut. Any bit of interest, cut.
And much like WCW doesn't know how to end segments, the commentators don't know theme songs. Because
they only know one.
I don't think you just sang the NWO.
That was the NWO. That was the NWO.
I don't know. I think it was just the key you were in. It sounded like something different. I don't know what.
I was going for NWO.
Listen, it's going to hit me what I heard in 3 days.
If it hits you while you're editing, splice it in. Yeah. Oh, the one thing that I do appreciate, if I can appreciate anything about the NWO theme, they don't do the flash photography still frame entrance that they do in the WWE.
I don't know if that'll come back because
I hated that.
Well, because they did do it. That's where that comes from.
Well, yeah. I guess I knew that. But they're not doing it right now.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes back or not.
Because I hate that.
Yeah, obviously everyone knows the NWO theme, but the commentators don't know the Warriors theme because the lights go out and like the theme's playing and they're like, "Oh my god, what's happening?
Who is it? What is that?"
Like, who is this? I'm like, it's the guy feuding with Hulk Hogan for the past couple of months. Like, I know he hasn't been around, but learn the theme.
But he's been around for a very long time.
Yeah, they're like, "Oh, I can't even see my format sheet." Bobby Heenan's like, "I never even have one," and I'm like, "Is that Bobby Heenan trying to uphold kayfabe?" Like, "Oh, we don't know what's gonna happen."
Maybe. But I also wouldn't be surprised if he just didn't have a sheet.
Yeah, so Warrior runs out and is gassed as soon as he hits the ring. Like, he's at it. Like, he's like out of it. He's like, the Warrior. He calls the Hulk Hogan win bullshit. Then Hulk Hogan comes out. And some other... Like, you actually see Hogan come out. And then just... like 3 other NWO members just like apparate.
Yeah, I noticed that. I was like, are they hiding under the ring? Like, is Horace down there just hanging out with the Giant? Like,
yeah, because he beats up Horace, he beats up the Giant, I think he beats up Hulk. I think that, and then Bischoff he hits. I think that's it.
Else.
I think there was only Stevie Ray maybe. I don't know. He's randomly involved in a lot of
yeah,
these
it was Hogan, Horace, and Bischoff.
And do you like the Warriors' Batman references?
I didn't get them.
The same Warrior time, same Warrior place, same Warrior channel.
Is that a Batman thing?
It's a 60s Batman thing, to my
Oh,
knowledge.
I had no idea.
Like an old Adam West one. Like, same bat time, same bat place, same bat channel.
Did not notice that. I did like it, though. I really like his calf dressage, if you can call it that.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it. Because you'll never see the Warrior on WCW television again.
Wait, what?
That's it. He's done.
That was his last match on... What?
That's the last time you see him.
That wasn't even a match.
Unless he shows up randomly in TNA, I think the next time you see him on, cable television is when he goes into the Hall of Fame in 2014.
What?
Yep, that's it.
What happened?
He is a pain in the ass to work with.
Oh, so he got fired. He didn't walk out.
He could have been either.
What? Wow. That's shocking.
Yep.
I didn't think that was the last we'd see of the Warrior.
Or, I knew it was, so I thought they would do something to write him off.
They did nothing. It was a nothing segment.
Fight off the NWO and then be like, I'm the Warrior. And that's it.
But they said, same Warrior time, same Warrior place, same Warrior channel. But, not?
Technically, it's same Warrior time, place, and channel. There's just no Warrior. All the other things are still true. Yeah, thoughts on the Ultimate Warrior and R2? I mean, he had a great run with us.
Yeah, wow. 2 whole episodes. I like his whole look. I think it's fun. I'm sad I won't see it anymore. I want that calf frill.
Yeah, and I think the Renegade, who we talked about last time, I think he's already in different gear, so when you see him next, I don't think he'll be rocking the knockoff Warrior look.
No.
So our main event of this Nitro is DDP versus Bret Hart for the United States title.
Oh, we're skipping the match that I watched. Scott Hall, Scott Steiner, Lex Luger, and Conan.
Yeah, so we only had a miscommunication about whether or not we needed to actually watch. It was Lex Luger and Conan versus Scott Hall and Scott Steiner. And I think I looked at that and I went, I'm not watching that one. So I guess it makes sense to explain how we picked these matches.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I looked at the pay-per-view lineup and kind of decided, all right, what actually ties in with the pay-per-view, and then just some kind of select other, okay, this is clearly a storyline they're setting up. Ric Flair and Eric Bischoff, at least on paper, don't, have any match kind of stuff at World War III, but that's an ongoing storyline, and that'll have a payoff eventually, so we should stay up to date on that.
I can't remember, because we were talking throughout the day about this episode. I can't remember if I texted you that I was angry after this tag team match or later on.
You asked me, is this what Blue Balls feels like?
I was so angry. Let me just vent a little bit about this tag team, because we won't go into detail about it, but there was one funny moment, and then I'll just get mad. But this match was a shit show from the beginning. Like, they spent about 0.02 seconds in the ring, and then they just went into the audience and started beating each other up, and it's like, is this an ODQ match? I don't fucking know. And then they come back to the ring, and all four of them get into the ring, and one of the commentators goes, who's legal? The other people go, who cares?
Oh, yeah,
like, if that's not WCW in a nutshell, boom.
Yeah, so Scott Hall intentionally knocks the ref out of the ring. And then Conan is holding Scott Steiner like against the ropes while Lex Luger puts Hall in the torture rack. Mm-hmm. And then Steiner breaks it up. And they're like, what happened to the ref? With the commercial. And then it cuts back, and Michael Buffer's just in the ring, and it's all been sorted.
Yeah, and then they just announced the main event.
Like, oh man, that was
a wild match.
They're like, thank God we got all that sorted. And I'm like, who won?
I got so angry watching that, but
yeah,
anyway.
I watched the last 30 seconds, and I went, I'm glad I didn't watch that match.
And I was watching this at my desk at work. I was just so angry.
Yeah, and you can't even get...
I can't get vocally angry, yeah. I couldn't, because if I got vocally angry, my coworkers would know that I'm watching wrestling at my desk at work.
So, Michael Buffer's here to announce the Bret Hart DDP US title main event match. Michael Buffer making those couple $1,000. Mm-hmm. And it was the Hoovy and Kidman match, I noticed. And I want you to keep an ear out for the next one, unless you notice too. The regular commentator... They have his mic mixed so poorly, I literally could not hear anything he said.
I didn't really notice that.
Yeah.
I was also actively trying to not listen to the commentators because they got to a point where they were really annoying
Not the commentators, the ring announcer.
Oh, no, I didn't notice that.
The ring announcer just he's completely inaudible through all of it.
I did not notice that. I don't take your word for it.
So how do you feel about DDP getting 2 title matches within 24 hours?
You know, I didn't actually realize that. Because we watched Halloween Havoc like a week ago at this point, it didn't click in my brain that was within 24 hours of each other. That's kind of... I don't know how to feel about it.
And especially because his went on after 11. It's definitely within 24 hours.
Yeah. I don't actually know how I feel about that. Because, like, I really like DDP in WCW, which is something that I never thought I would say watching him during the fucking invasion. But I'm not mad about him getting 2 title shots.
Yeah, there's an argument to be made on both sides of this for, like, the U.S. belt here is meant to be similar to the Intercontinental title in WWF.
Okay.
Meant to achieve the same thing.
Sure.
And there's the difference of opinion of, should this title be more of a mid-card kind of title, mm-hmm. or should it be the main eventers who aren't wrestling for the world title?
In this case, it's that, yeah?
Yes. What do you think? Do you have an opinion either way?
I feel like it should be mid-card.
Yeah, kind of give them something to do.
Yeah, like, something to fight for.
Yeah, because it does feel like there is a gap in WCW, like a decent-sized gap between...
A big gap.
Between the U.S. Championship and, like, Jericho's TV title and, like, the Cruiserweight title.
Yeah.
The gap between the world title and the U.S. belt is dramatically smaller than the gap between the TV title and the U.S. belt.
Yeah, and it's just, like... It's a lot more obvious in WCW who is, like, the names and who is not. Like, who are the big guys and who are not the big guys.
Well, that's part of the appeal that WCW has, is that they just got all the names. Like, if you look at, like, the roster and look at people who are, like, former world champions, like, there's a lengthy list. And especially if you look at guys who would eventually become ones. Because, like, Booker T and Scott Steiner haven't yet won a world title, but, like, they will.
Yeah.
So it's like, there is a very heavy star power, almost an issue, because then it's the syndrome line from The Incredibles. If everyone's super, no one is.
That's
it's like,
true.
I don't care about Lex Luger.
Yeah.
Also, I just don't care about Lex Luger. But it's like, you can't push everybody.
But they're trying to push enough people that makes, like, these smaller people look infantile. Like, are you telling me that Alex Wright should even be playing on the same team as Lex Luger and Bret Hart? And
Exactly.
Yeah, like, it's so vastly different.
Yeah, and it's like, you can build stars, but you have enough guys under contract for so long, and guys who have creative control. Like, Macho Man
he's still on the roster.
Yeah, he got written off shortly before Hollywood Havoc by getting beat down. That's actually part of the Bret Hart heel turn.
Oh, okay, I was going to ask you about that. Because, like, I always thought that Bret Hart was, like, good guy, you know, eat your vegetables, take your vitamins, drink your milk, like that kind of a guy.
I wouldn't... He kind of was. He was never as, like, virtuous like that. Like that. That's an old school Hogan thing.
Yeah.
Bret Hart's thing was, I'm a good guy who's a great wrestler. Like, that was his character for a very long time.
Okay.
And then WWF turned him heel as, like, a anti-America kind of gimmick.
Oh, yeah, because he's Canadian.
Yeah, and it worked fantastically. The issue with his heel turn in WWF was Shawn Michaels came back and then was like, oh yeah, now he's the top heel. And Bret Hart's like, I went from being the top face to the number 2 heel. I don't like that.
Which is fair. I mean, I'd be pissed.
Yeah, but I love Bret Hart's jawing with the crowd. Like, I think he's very good at both, but I think I like the character of asshole Bret Hart more. Because, like, he just gets it. There's certain guys in wrestling who just get it.
Yeah.
And he's one of them. Because if you can piss off the fans, they want you to lose.
True.
And he is constantly just like, shut up.
I do like that. If you know how to bounce off the crowd, that, like, does wonders for you.
There was the one woman at Halloween Havoc, like, in the front row, who he was just bitching
Oh,
out
yeah.
the whole time.
I wanted to look into and see if that was somebody's, like, mother.
I don't know if you caught it because there was a line in commentary that Bret Hart actually won the title when it was vacant against TDP.
Oh, I missed that, no.
Yeah, because Bret Hart beat him up backstage.
Okay, yeah, I did catch him talking about that. Like, Bret weakened him up backstage before taking him out.
That was the last matchup. This is I thought this is a pretty good match. I know we're not going to go as in-depth on the Nitro episodes. But yeah, I enjoyed this one. I think I enjoyed it more than the Sting match.
From Halloween Havoc?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was one part in this match that I did really like, though. The ref, like, kind of berating Bret when he was pinning DDP. He was like, were you on the rope? No. Then why was the rope moving? I don't know. It's like he's, like, getting in trouble by his dad.
So the finish of this match has Bret going for the brass knuckles again, just like he did on Sunday.
Yes.
But DDP counters into the Diamond Cutter and pins him.
I have a question again. Was this a no DQ match?
No, the ref was, like, knocked out or distracted.
There was a point where Bret Hart was literally face to face with a standing conscious ref with his brass knuckles, like, up towards his face.
Oh, I miss.
And nothing was said. No bell was rung. It should have been a DQ. Like, I'm glad the DDP won regardless, but, like, that should have been it.
Technically speaking, unless you actually hit him with the object, it's not a DQ.
So even if you have it, that's not an issue? Like, I could just bring a chair into the ring and just, like, sit in it?
I guess. And yeah, it's...
I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a matter of... It is illegal to use the object as a weapon. Like, you know, what's the difference between bringing it in and sitting in it versus the chair's outside and just sitting on the outside? Also, are you saying it's illegal to sit in a chair in the middle of the ring?
During a match?
No, it is only a DQ if you actually strike your opponent with...
But, like, come on.
A foreign object, or as they eventually call them, an international object.
But it wasn't like he just kind of had the brass knuckles on one finger, like, oh, I just found these. Like, no, they were on his hand in a fist, face to face, eye contact with the ref.
It is basically the same thing of in the Jericho Raven match from Halloween Havoc. Mm-hmm. Canyon runs down and gets in the apron. Jericho knocks him off the apron.
Yeah.
If Canyon had come in and hit Chris Jericho, that's a disqualification. But because Jericho...
That I can get more behind because he was just on the apron. He didn't actually come in. Like, yeah, he interfered with the match, but he didn't get in the ring.
Yeah, it is...
Like, if you had the brass knuckles on the apron and you didn't actually use them, they were just there. I guess that's different. I don't know.
We're going to have to agree to disagree on this one. But that is the rules. So going forward, when you see that is why.
Okay.
You have to actually use the object.
Okay, because I feel like there was a chair that was pulled out at some point tonight, too.
Because you can even swing the object. If you miss, it's not a DQ.
Okay, so wait, you're telling me that if I have a gun and I shoot it, but I miss you, it's not attempted murder?
No, I'm saying it's not actual murder.
I was aiming. You still get arrested for attempted murder?
Yeah, but that's the difference. There's no such thing as attempted DQ.
If he took a chair and swung it?
You don't lose a match for attempted DQ.
Oh, I can't wrap my head around that. That's so stupid. Well, oh my god.
Well, literally the point of it is the finish of this match, which is Bret Hart did not actually succeed in cheating, because if Bret Hart gets disqualified, he retains the title.
Yeah. Like, it's good that DDP won, but like...
Yeah. It gives, it gives the challenger for a title a chance to just, like, not, like, oh, I guess he brought that in the ring, so I don't win the title now.
That broke me a little bit. If you swing the weapon, it's not a DQ.
It's happened.
How the fuck? Okay, I won't scream into the microphone like I want to, but ooh, I want to.
Post-match, Bret hits DDP with the brass knucks now, and then brings a chair in and just works over the knee.
Like, all bets are off now. Like, it's after the match. Like, that I'm fine with. Like, yeah, bring in whatever fucking weapon you got. Like, the bell rang. It's done.
Did you know you can lose a match after you've won it?
What? Why? How? What?
Since we're just talking about DQs.
Yeah.
Let's say Bret got DDP in the sharpshooter, and DDP tapped out.
Yeah.
If Bret does not release the hold after the match, the referee can reverse the decision and, like, call it a DQ.
Okay, well, that makes sense. If it's, like, the match-winning hold, I guess I could figure that out. But, like, in this, like, post-Bell era that we're in at this point, like, era is a wrong word for that, but, like, this moment...
No, everyone loves the post-Bell era. WWF from 1998 to 2001. The post-Bell era, that's great.
Anyway. No, if, like, after the bell rang and Bret's using all these weapons and everything, like, if that was DDP doing all of that, if they had, like, taken away his win, I would have been very much not okay with that. That seems like a cheat.
So Bret just keeps working over DDP with a chair. Mm-hmm. And the fans are chanting for Goldberg, and he, like, doesn't come out for quite a while.
There was something else that happened during this match that also made me laugh, though. The commentators were like, look how long and hard this match has gone. And I checked the time at that point when they said that. It hadn't even been 10 minutes. Like, wow. The difference between the match lengths of WCW versus WWF or E is incredible.
Well, in 98, they were pretty much this short.
In WWF, too?
On TV, yeah.
Oh. I'm just used to the 20-minute matches.
It's basically because the Monday Night War is still kind of, still in full swing.
I mean,
so it's okay, like...
If they're doing it, so are we.
It's more, if you don't like something, it'll be over soon. So, like stick around.
And honestly, I kind of appreciate that. Like, I would rather sit through a 5-minute shitty match than a 25-minute shitty match.
Yeah, but I also would rather have a 20-minute good match.
Yeah, but if you do 5-minute shitty match, there's more of a chance for there to be a 10-minute good match. Like, because you can fit more in. And, like, by,
I don't know how much they know that it's going to be a shitty match going in. I
feel like they have an idea.
Yeah, I sometimes wonder. It's like how much do you know that this is going to bomb?
I feel like they've got to kind of know.
So the fans are chanting for Goldberg, and he just takes his sweet time coming out. Like DDP is getting like almost having his career ended, and Goldberg just doesn't come out. But Goldberg does come out with like 6 seconds left.
He doesn't even make it into the ring.
No, he literally gets into the ring, and then
they cut it. Oh, because like I was looking at the timestamp for this too. Like they were still fighting, and it was like, okay, we have 30 seconds left. Are we gonna cut? Are we gonna like end this? Is somebody gonna like break it up? And then Goldberg shows up. I'm like, if I was watching this live when this aired, I would have been furious.
Yeah, your world champion who defended the title last night, it shows up for 6 seconds.
If that.
Yeah.
I would have been livid.
So that was our first episode of Nitro.
Ooh. And now episode 2. Well,
next up we have the October 29th Thunder.
And up.
Now we have the November 2nd episode of Monday Nitro. So, we start this Nitro with a Booker T interview.
We started out. The episode doesn't start out like this, but
no,
we chose to watch this one.
Yeah, this one we did not watch the first half of at all. We only watched the highlights. So
much less to talk about in this episode, but...
a little bit. So Booker T making his return, because he's been out for... either 2 months or 3 months, depending on who's talking. They said it was late August, so to me, that's 2 months and a week.
Yeah, But because it's in the 3rd month, it's been 3 months. But Booker T without the dreads is something to see.
Is he?
I think he's more attractive.
He looks like a retired football player to me. Like, he looks like someone who's going to appear on, like, you know, NFL, like,
commentary.
game day.
Yeah. I like it. I don't know.
It's one of those, I'm like, oh, this is just weird.
It does make him look older. I'll give him that. Like, more mature, I guess?
Yeah. But, so, he's been out after some mystery attacker took him out.
I was really hoping for them to do, like, a recap package with this. Like, some sort of video of, like, what happened. Like, any kind of evidence of how he was attacked or where he was attacked or literally anything. No.
God, I'm just picturing Triple H in WCW where he can't cut to the footage. Oh, God. That poor man.
Triple H has to rely on his words. His descriptive.
Hires actors. Like, all right, can you guys just recreate what happened?
Everybody turn and take a look at the actors.
At the local community college theater. So, he weirdly draws out who attacked him, but it turns out it was Scott Hall.
Yeah, and like, as I was watching this, I was trying to think, like, did they say anything about a feud with, like, did they even mention Booker T during Halloween Havoc? I
don't believe so.
Okay.
But yeah, so the attacker was Scott Hall, and he challenged him to a match later.
Yeah. And then Gene was like, why would you hold out on this information? If you knew this, why would you hold out on this?
Is Mean Gene a Southern Belle?
Yes.
Plowing ahead. We have a Bret Hart in-ring interview. Not on the stage, in the ring.
Yes.
With Mean Gene.
Yes, and he's very somber. Very serious.
Yeah. Backwards hat.
Yes.
So he was supposed to wrestle Lex Luger tonight, but he has a groin pull.
As someone who's never pulled their groin, is that serious? Is that like a I can't move sort of thing?
I mean, I wouldn't want to wrestle.
Yeah.
With any injury, I wouldn't want to wrestle.
Well, with a stubbed toe, I wouldn't want to wrestle.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Bret Hart, man, this is going to sound redundant, very much is a heart in his, I have one point in this promo I need to hit, and I'm going to keep hitting it.
Oh my God, yeah, he has.
Groin. There's doctors. They say I can't wrestle. Ask the doctors. I have a pulled groin.
You're trying to provoke me.
You're trying to...
He had 3 lines.
Like,
that's it.
It was a pretty good kind of like generic kind of heel promo.
Yeah.
His justifications for attacking DDP and Sting I found were kind of interesting. It's like, I'll teach DDP to showboat while in the ring. It's like, get a little further away.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, and he's like, why did Sting bring the bat? I didn't bring the bat down to ringside.
That's true.
It's that good heel logic.
I'm a good guy. I'm just trying to wrestle. He's trying to mess up the game. I'm just trying to wrestle.
Yeah. So then Luger comes out, and Bret's like, "No, I'm not gonna fight you. I got a groin pull." So Luger calls him a gutless coward, goes to leave, and then surprise attacks him. And I'm like, that's a little cowardly.
I didn't think of it as cowardly. I thought of it as just like a prove it. Like, oh, you're hurt, prove it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was the faking out going to leave. The kind of like, I'm like, that's a little bit of a bitch move.
I also really liked Mean Gene pulling out the police. Did you see that?
No.
He really hit the police.
So skipping over some more matches, we now have a 4 Horsemen promo. I guess it's just because there's no competition. They don't feel the need to put any good matches on before this.
I guess, yeah, because I also noticed. I realized in this promo, I still have never seen the 4 Horsemen wrestle. Have I? As a tag team or as anything sort of I don't think I
don't really know how many 4-on-4 matches they.
Well, I haven't seen Chris Benoit yet.
Yeah, I mean we've only watched
a pay-per-view and 2 episodes now. I feel like I should have seen him do something.
Yeah, because he didn't wrestle at all on this. I know Dean.
No,
Dean wrestles on this episode.
Does he?
We didn't watch it.
Oh well. I also did liken Arn Anderson to just a disappointed father.
Oh,
because his glasses and his polo shirt is just I'm not mad, but I'm disappointed.
I called him a hunky accountant, Dad.
I don't think I would say hunky, but yeah, accountant for sure.
Oh, I skipped over that the commentators were forced to air Ric Flair wrestling at Halloween Havoc 94. It was the Inside War Games match against Hulk Hogan. Just more of the same from last week. Yeah,
they were forced.
Yeah. They're like, we don't want to do this, but he's our boss.
Sure.
Yeah, so then the fourth, they come out like in the middle of it to no music, which I thought was weird.
Oh.
R. Anderson says that Eric Bischoff is playing kids' games, and they want to play a man's game.
This is a man's world.
Which again, there's just a lot of weird sexual tension in wrestling.
Oh my god, yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
A lot. I mean, like, this is more of a Rock thing, and Rock Triple H thing, but just like, I want his ass. I want the Rock's ass. And they put stuff in people's asses. But,
yeah. And then they like get face to face in the ring, and it's like touching noses, and it's like, just kiss.
Yeah. So Arn also says that Bischoff is afraid of the Four Horsemen, and then we do get a Ric Flair mean by God Gene,
but it was kind of weak.
A little bit.
It was like I got things to say. Mean woo bygone Gene. Oh, I have a new favorite insult. Listen up, you Shetland pony.
I did know that. Before we get to Mongo.
Fucking Mongo.
Flair calls Bischoff a coward, and then they're like, we're gonna go to South Beach, and Dean Malenko, completely in character, is like, I'll join you guys later. I want to wrestle Raven. Yes, Dean Malenko would want to wrestle Raven as opposed to going out and hitting the town.
Yeah. I don't feel like Dean Malenko is a hit the bars kind of guy.
So, we did not watch that match, but I skimmed it. So, in that match...
The Raven Malenko match?
Yes. In that match, Bret Hart comes down and attacks Chris Benoit.
Why was Chris Benoit there?
He's just, like, you know, in the corner of...
Okay.
Yeah,
he's not in the match.
No, he's just, like, in Dean's corner, and Bret Hart comes out and attacks him. Luger attacks Bret, the Giant helps defend him, and then they set up the Giant versus Lex, which we also did not watch because
something that I've noticed.
I'm not watching the Lex Luger versus the Giant.
Yeah, no, nobody cares. Something I have noticed on WCW, they love their run-ins. Yeah. Any match that can be interfered, it will be.
It's like, it's not even like effective run-ins. It's like, I'm gonna run in and get knocked off the apron.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So Mongo. Just
fucking
Mongo. He does stand out in a bad way.
Yeah, he does not fit.
Yeah, he is not the amazing technical wrestler of the rest of the group.
No.
Yeah, I said he's a former football player, and
never mind that shit. Here comes Mongo.
Ugh, fucking Mongo, dude.
We'll talk more about Mongo once Mongo eventually has a match. But yeah, the Shetland pony line did make me laugh.
Listen up, you Shetland pony.
I don't even... Oh yeah, because he wasn't at the previous week, and they're like, we found him. We left him in Vegas.
We forgot Mongo.
Now, did they forget Mongo? Were they trying to, like, leave him behind?
Hopefully he got lost and didn't find his way home.
It's like Lotso, Huggin' Bear in Toy Story 3.
Oh, just put him in the incinerator.
Dean like Chris Benoit. No, they only replaced you. So continuing our trend of not watching matches because none of them had any really importance. There's what I thought was going to be a Scott Steiner Buff Bagwell promo, but then Kenny Chaos comes out for a match against
Kenny Chaos is getting lots of screen time.
I don't know why. So he comes out for what I think is a match, and then J.J. Dillon just stops him and is like, I have an announcement. And then Scott Steiner just like pegs it after him. And then Dillon goes on the commentary, and he's like, I have an announcement. And they
cut to commercial. What the fuck? What was this announcement?
They come back, and I watched like another couple minutes, and they
don't address it. Because I also watched, because like I don't think we watched the following thing.
No, it was Psychosis versus Rey Mysterio.
But like I also watched for a few minutes. I was like, are they gonna give JJ a minute to like give us his announcement? Nope.
Once again, not knowing how to end segments.
But if you say I have an announcement and then just don't,
like it feels like the broadcast has commercial, or just has like set like at this exact moment in time we're gonna go to commercial,
which is very possible.
And no one's told them when that happens. You know?
That is a very possible thing that like TV shows do or did at least have set times for commercial breaks. But that's the fucking job of a producer to be like, hey, you have this many minutes until the commercial. Like, you're supposed to keep them on time.
Yeah.
Where's the fucking producer?
little bit later on, we get a Chris Jericho interview for a match that is unfortunately never going to happen in WCW.
He never fights Goldberg?
Because Jericho's out wearing a Goldberg shirt.
Mm-hmm. And just, like, touting his love for Goldberg.
Did you like him calling him Gene Mean?
Yes, I wrote that down. Gene Mean.
So, he makes a reference to something that aired on TV. It would have been that week or the week before. One of the networks, it might have been NBC, had an hour-long special called Pro Wrestling's Greatest Secrets Revealed.
Oh.
It's not all that helpful. A lot of it isn't even how they do stuff. And it treats people like idiots. It's like, he's not actually hitting him. And
so it's no Dark Side of the Ring.
No, God, no. No, this is just like, this is how they do it. And it's like, but fans don't know because they don't know the secrets. It just treats wrestling fans like fucking idiots.
Yeah.
It's narrated by Salem the Cat from Spirit of the Teenage Witch.
Wait, Salem goes on to be an ABC voiceover person?
Just another thing. I mean, it isn't actually Salem the Cat. It's the actor.
Well, obviously.
I forget who the guy is.
No, I want to see the cat, damn it.
Listen, who's part of the show?
I love Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, maybe we'll watch it at some point. But like, it's so insulting to wrestling fans. Of like, here's how they do this, and a good amount of it isn't even like accurate. I think the most famous line from it is they like have a fake segment where like some grandmother is like getting in a wrestler's face, and he like pulls her over the barricade.
She's a stunt granny.
That's my new goal in life, to become a stunt granny.
It's bad, it's dumb. There are some random like good names, and like I know we've talked about him a lot. For you have not seen like any of his matches. Christopher Daniels is in it. Yeah,
we have talked about him a lot.
Yeah, we just kind of keep missing him. He will be in WCW eventually, so we will get to him at some point. But yeah, a lot of wrestlers kind of got locked into doing it, and it was just like contractually because they thought it was going to be something a little bit different, and it's like, nope, we're going to be exposing the business. Yeah, I think also you have I think Harley Race was involved and was blatantly telling stuff wrong because he found out what it was and didn't like it, so he was just like,
I love that.
Yeah. Sometimes wrestling's cardiness is fucking great.
Yeah. No, you trying to expose us? Fuck you.
Yeah, because he makes some sort of... so Jericho makes some sort of reference to, like, now that wrestling's greatest secrets have been revealed. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he loves Goldberg, but also completely shits on his football career. So Jericho says he respects Goldberg, and, you know, kind of the end of the promo, and then lazily is like, Goldberg.
Yeah. Yeah, he was leading the Goldberg chant, kind of, and then he, like, walked away. But he was just like, I got nothing but respect for Bill. Like... I forget the Goldberg's actual name is Bill Goldberg, which is just like, that man could sell me a car. Like,
so we were going to talk about the November 5th Thunder, but there wasn't much of anything. Jericho cuts another promo on Greenberg. Oh, I'm sorry, Goldberg. He also calls Tony Schiavone Schiavone.
I love Jericho's blatant mispronunciations. They make me very happy. Crisp Benoit.
He also claimed, I don't even know how he gets to this, but he's like, the score is Jericho 4, Goldberg 0. So there was supposed to be a program with Jericho and Goldberg. And then people, I don't know if they've actually been pointed at Hulk Hogan or not, are like, he's so small, he's not a main eventer, you don't want to be working with him. He's gonna kill your star power.
Oh. Yeah,
and Goldberg's like, nope, we're not doing this then. And Jericho held that grudge literally all the way through to when Goldberg came to WWE and Jericho was there. And they had one match then.
I like that. I can get behind that.
Because they had like a backstage fight of like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, Jericho and Goldberg, maybe it'll happen on a random Nitro, but it doesn't happen on pay-per-view, I'll tell you that.
Oh, something else happening with Jericho right now. The hair watch. His hair has changed. He has graduated from the floof to the braided pony, which also happens in WWE.
It changed a bit on Thunder. I think it's just going to change week to week.
Okay. Because they made a comment about that in commentary. Like, he changed his hair. It's a new look. He's like, yeah, this week.
But yeah, Goldberg and Jericho does not happen on World War III because Goldberg doesn't wrestle on World War III.
Everybody wrestles on World War III and Goldberg doesn't?
Because the main match is basically a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
You know, the winner faces Goldberg at Starrcade, but he doesn't defend the title either. It's, I don't know, it's strange. And Jericho wrestles, I honestly don't even remember who it is. It's somebody they randomly, I think, set up the build for like the week before. But up next we have Kidman versus Jericho for the TV title. And it's in this match that they have the dig on Goldberg's football career. Was it a dig on Goldberg? I thought they were saying Jericho could.
Oh, I thought it was Goldberg.
Whatever,
they were insulting the team.
Yeah, so they mentioned that Jericho has never played football, but he probably could play for the Redskins, quote unquote, right now, back in '98. And they went, that's jokes that weirdly have aged amazingly and not just because of the name.
Yeah, the then Redskins, the now Washington football team. Jericho could also still play for the football team.
Yeah, because so Goldberg, I think, was one of like the practice squad guys, similar to Colton or Dale from The Bachelor and Bachelorette.
I tried to get Nick interested in the Bachelor and Bachelorette franchise because I said, "Look, they're football players," and then he actually looked up how they played football, and it wasn't. They weren't actually football players.
But yeah, you practice squad in preseason, and I'm like, okay, there's no reason I should know you.
But let it be known that these Redskins Washington football team digs are funny to me as someone who was raised in a Washington-loving household. Like, my parents root for that team. They root for the Washington National baseball team, and they suck. They absolutely suck.
I'm a Giants
It's
fan.
funny.
We're going to date this recording. They just beat the Redskins the second time this season. Sorry, the Washington football team.
Yeah, stop.
For the second time this season.
The Giant versus Big Show is your wrestling equivalent of the football team and Redskins.
If they have an actual name, I'll call them something else.
I know.
I have to ask you about Ralphus.
Ralphus?
The guy who came out with Jericho?
Yes! I didn't know he had a name.
His name is Ralphus.
I love him. I love Ralphus. What's your question?
No, I just general thoughts on him.
I was so confused when I saw him at first because I didn't look at his face. I didn't look at the writing on his shirt. I just saw the belly. I was like, what's happening?
Yeah. So the story with Ralphus is he was just part of the crew, and they're like, you're weird looking. Let's throw you in with Jericho.
Oh, Ralphus. Is that his actual name, Ralphus?
I will do a little
God, I
search
hope
right
not. God, I hope that's not his real name.
So his real name is John Riker.
Okay, so not Ralphus.
No, unfortunately not. So, do you know why Ralphus stops appearing eventually on WCW television?
No.
He goes, I'm a big deal. I want a lot more money. And they're like, bye.
Ralphus demanded more money?
Yep.
Honey. Sorry, Ralphus. I love you, but you ain't main event material.
He will wrestle a couple matches, apparently.
Really?
We may have to make a special note to watch them.
To watch the Ralphus matches, absolutely. Wow. Anyway, we should talk about the match. The Kidman Jericho match.
I mean, how much do you have to say about the Kidman Jericho match? Because
I mean, not a ton about the actual match. I liked it. I thought it was pretty solid.
I thought it was solid, but man, is one of these wrestlers way better than the other?
Yeah, but I think they work well together.
I think Jericho worked pretty much well. I don't know. Just Jericho, we talked about earlier about getting it. Mm-hmm. Jericho clearly gets it, and Kidman's just
hasn't quite gotten it yet.
He's just doing stuff.
I think that they make each other look good.
I don't know. Jericho, actually plays with the crowd, tries to piss him off. Kidman's just doing moves. And, as previously mentioned, Jericho at one point goes for a powerbomb, and it gets countered into a facebuster.
Yep. Which I also thought that was a really good move. Like, I thought that was fun to see.
But keep in mind, like a facebuster's like not a difficult move to do. Like, you could literally give me one right now. It's not like Undertaker late in his career where, all right, the only way I'm doing the last ride is by countering the 10-punch spot in the corner because I can't flip you up. It's like, I'm going to see how often this happens. But so far, we are 3 for 3 on Kidman matches, and him countering a powerbomb for a facebuster. At least Jericho does do a double powerbomb kind of move.
True.
Although he did not do the lion salt again. So now I'm questioning when that starts showing up. But also in this match, it wouldn't be one of our episodes without this. Kidman takes off his shirt and chokes Jericho with it. DQ?
DQ? We should have a soundbite of that. It's like, I want Scooby-Doo to say, DQ?
Has Scooby-Doo ever done a Dairy Queen spot? That's what we need to find out.
Oh, I bet he has. We'll find it. That's got to exist. Commercialism, come on.
So Jericho goes to the top row at one point and successfully hits a flying nothing.
Yeah. He didn't even, like, try to go into anything. No. He just, like, leaped.
I know Bob Holly does that a lot, but just, like, everybody does that a lot, but I kind of just think about Bob Holly. I just think, I'm going to jump and your feet are going to go up, and I don't know what the plan was if they didn't go up.
When Jericho gets on the top rope, as someone who has a top rope move, you expect him to do the top rope move.
I wouldn't say he has like a patented top rope move, but it's like, especially
lion salt.
That's not top rope.
Is that not top rope?
No, that's he jumps. He kind of like springboards off the middle rope from inside the ring.
Oh, okay. It's a rope move though.
Yeah, but like, I mean, he will do a crossbody. Like him going up top isn't all that crazy.
No,
him going up top when the person's on the ground is a little bit different. Like I wouldn't say he does much with that. Speaking of going up top, Kidman goes for the shooting star press, and it gets countered? Question mark?
I don't really know what happened.
He got an arm up, or a hand up, or something. It wasn't a botch. No, it wasn't.
Yeah, I still don't really know what happened there. And also,
he almost hit his fucking knees on Jericho's head again. Mm-hmm. I don't like Kidman. I want Kidman to lose the title because Kidman...
I really like watching Kidman, but it's just that one move is...
His finisher, the one he'll definitely do every match.
But has he botched it? I mean, has he, like, actually hit somebody in the head?
Yes, because I showed you that clip.
Oh, okay.
I don't know when that is, but it's also a matter of... That's when he seriously injures somebody. You can give someone a concussion and not, like, crack their skull.
Fair. But, like, if you do a move 300 times perfectly... Like, there's no reason for you to believe that, like, on the 301st time, you're going to crack somebody's skull open.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say he's doing it perfectly either. I think he's getting a passing...
Perfectly being...
He's getting a passing grade. He's not getting an A.
Perfectly in the terms of, like, he's not murdering anybody.
So, do you remember how this match ends?
Uh-huh.
Why don't you tell people?
The bell rings for some reason, and the ref doesn't know why, so we go to the bell, and they're like, oh... TV time cut, but they didn't cut to commercial.
I thought it was Ralphus at first. I thought it was like,
no.
Well, my gut was like, okay, distraction finished. Ralphus rings the bell. Nope, it's like
cut for TV.
It's like, well, I wasn't sure how much it was a time cut versus.
That's what they said. They said it was a time cut.
I don't know how much of it was a cut for TV versus like matches having time limits is not a new concept, but when. Because they say, like, oh, they don't tell us when there's going to be a time limit. Like,
why not?
Yeah, because, like, frankly, there was a period of time where it was a giveaway, but in the kind of old days, it would, like, be very common for it to be like, hey, this match is scheduled for one fall and has, like, a 15-minute time limit. Mm-hmm. Match would go, like, 7 minutes, but it's just like a...
Has a limit, yeah.
Yeah, and this is like, oh, no, they don't tell us when they hit the time limit anymore, and I'm like...
But why not? That seems like a very important thing for everyone involved to know.
Yeah, I'm curious how many more of those we even get.
I was just so annoyed because, like, we've watched in this episode, or not in this, like, this November whatever episode, but, like, what we're talking about today, we've watched them cut to commercial because of TV timing. And they actually cut to commercial, they cut to black. But this, they're just like, oh, TV time. I guess Jericho retains. And they let that sit.
Yeah, well...
They let that breathe.
Jericho probably wishes they would have gone to commercial because he then backs up over the stairs and trips.
Yeah, that was funny. But it just didn't make any sense. Like, and then I'm so frustrated. They keep cutting interesting moments short. Like, as soon as a match gets interesting, they're like, nope, done.
Yeah. But at least up next, we have a resolution to one of our mysteries earlier. JJ Dillon comes out to commentary, again, with Kenny Chaos.
Fucking Kenny. Who is he sleeping with? Like, how is he getting so much time?
JJ Dillon, obviously. So Buff Bagwell is fined $50,000 for the attack earlier, and Scott Steiner is fined $100,000. And
They don't like that.
yeah, Steiner then cuts a promo. It says WCW sucks, which
Yeah.
I currently agree with. Because no, remember, NWO is something different.
Right, and that was also very confusing to me because during this whole speech, I expected it to end with "I quit."
No, he just hates WCW. NWO, totally different. How could you confuse them?
Because all of NWO has been on this episode.
No, totally different. How could you confuse it?
I really am starting to hate the NWO. And not in a like, oh, they're the bad guys, I hate them. Like, no, like, get off my TV screen.
Yeah, and it doesn't help that people love them, and I'm like,
Why? Why?
That's clear during the Scott Hall promo later. But so, do you remember earlier in the previous episode of Nitro where Scott Steiner calls Buff Bagwell the best setup man in the business?
Yes.
Buff
They're best
Bagwell, totally unrelatedly, invites Kenny Chaos out to the ring. And it's like, I don't know how you got involved in all this. We like you.
We just want to talk.
Just want to talk. I don't even know if he's in 3 seconds before they just beat him down. And I'm like, how did you... Honestly, Kenny, it's a little bit on you. Not to victim blame, but like, you really should have seen that coming.
Yeah.
You know, the fool me once.
Shame on you. Fool me twice. Shame on me.
Yeah.
But like, Buff Bagwell being like, we really appreciate how stupid you are. Like, as he's beating him up. It was kind of funny.
Did you like Kenny's attire at the time?
I don't remember what it was.
So he was wearing a singlet, but he had the straps down like he was done, and he was wearing like slide flip flops.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
You know, I love my slides. I have a pair of really ugly shoes that I love, but Nick hates, and they're slides and they're Crocs, and I love them.
I feel the same way about them as I do Buff Bagwell.
You want them to go away?
I'm so done with Buff Bagwell.
But my shoes.
I also want them to go away.
No, they're not going anywhere. The more you fight them, the longer they stay.
I know he sticks around for like ever, but I want Buff Bagwell to be gone.
Well, they really are just like he really is just like my shoes.
I want to move on. I'm getting sad. Although, actually, I guess I was a little less sad because Scott Hall comes out for his match with Booker T, and he doesn't come out with a drink. Although he might imply he's drunk with like the eyes opening thing.
He didn't look sober.
No, but that might more be shoot than.
Yeah, I was wondering about that because he didn't come out with a drink. That was nice.
Yeah,
like a good character moment, I guess.
They,
but like,
they dropped the alcoholism story.
The reality
it might be part of his life still. So he cuts a promo about Kevin Nash not being here. He makes a joke that he ruins because he says like, I know I hang out in some guys, but you were hanging out in a real hole in the wall.
Oh, because I threw him through a hole. Wow.
But then he goes, yuck, yuck, yuck. Like that dryly, too. Where it's like, I didn't get that joke.
I really didn't get that joke. I literally threw him through a hole in the wall, and I missed that. Wow.
Yeah. This was a pretty standard match.
It was a lot slower paced. It was very average. But like this is the match that I thought somebody was going to come interfere, because like average match in the second or third hour, somebody's got to come interfere, right?
Which finish bothered you more, the Jericho one or this one? Because the finish of this match is Booker T goes to the top rope, Scott Hall pulls the referee in the way, so Booker T ends up accidentally hitting the first ref. A new ref comes down, slides in the ring, rings the bell. Winner by DQ, Booker T.
This one bothers me more because it's a blatant fucking lie.
Scott Hall intentionally pulled
No,
the ref
he
in harm's
didn't.
way. He did.
I watched this match. That ref was standing there before Scott Hall touched him. He was standing in between the two. He was also standing there for a while before Booker T jumped. Like, Booker T knew that the ref was there. That was not an accident. That wasn't even, like, malicious. It was just stupid. When they said, like, the winner by DQ because of, you know, whatever, him pulling the ref in. I'm like, but he didn't. The ref was just standing there. Oh, this one bothered me more. The Jericho one bothered me for different reasons, but this also bothered me.
I think the Jericho one bothered me more. The more I think about it. Because, listen, is it a shitty DQ finish? Yes. However, hitting a ref is illegal.
I mean, yeah.
And, okay, I get that. Not, there's suddenly a time limit we never told you about.
Fair. And this one bothered me more because it didn't happen.
So did we only watch 2 matches from this Nitro, and both of them had shit finishes?
Oh god, did we? Maybe. I did look at the list that you sent me, and it's mostly interviews. It's not a ton of matches.
Well, there are a lot of interviews in that. We'll start hitting episodes of Nitro that the entire first hour there isn't a match.
See, I don't like that either. There's got to be a balance.
So the next match we're gonna skip. It's the main event, which was the Giant versus Lex Luger. We're gonna skip this. I'll let a few notes for it, and then we're gonna call this the end of part 1 of the build to World War III.
Woo!
So, match just kind of happens for a while. Nothing too special. It's everything you imagine the Giant and Lex Luger can do. Bret Hart runs into the ring.
Of course he does.
Yeah. Bret Hart comes in, attacks Luger for the DQ. He puts Luger in the sharpshooter. And if you're watching the time, there's 20 seconds left. And finally, Goldberg runs out.
Oh my god.
Goldberg spears the Giant, and then he accidentally spears Lex Luger, who's aiming for Bret Hart. Lex Luger hits the ground, and 2 seconds later, end of the show. So,
they love their interferences, and they hate ending shows.
Yeah, we skimmed through Thunder. He doesn't appear on there. So after defending his title on pay-per-view, the man who has undefeated streak, who literally just put him in a minute-long match, it'll work, has appeared on Nitro for about 27 seconds.
Wow. That's ridiculous.
I believe he has a match upcoming, although I could be... Actually, I might be wrong about that. That might be afterwards. I know he has a match with the Giant eventually, but...
Oh my god.
And he's not going to wrestle at World War III. Also, World War III, no fucking mention of.
Yeah, not at all. Not one mention. Because, how many weeks are we from that?
2.
2? Yeah. Nothing.
Yep.
This is a frustrating episode.
So who do you think, as of right now, who do you think's going to win World War III and face Goldberg at Starrcade? There's not,
I don't know, because they're not building up any sort of, real feud. Hogan, maybe? Probably.
Oh, you're going to love the next Nitro.
Oh, am I?
Without giving too much away, on the next Nitro, Hulk Hogan announces he's running for president. And that's it for this episode of the Butts from the Seats podcast. We're only going to do MVP and Match of the Night for pay-per-views because, we skip enough and I don't even know if we would have a Match of the Night.
Yeah, I'm not even sure either. But, the pay-per-views, we won't skip matches. We will have a MVP and a Match of the Night.
Yeah, somehow Ernest the Cat Miller is going to start building towards a match. And Conan's going to have a match with Stevie Ray. And
that's that.
Yeah, somehow they're going to build towards pay-per-view. We'll see how the hell they tie it together. But until then, you can follow us on Twitter at ButtsInThePod. And I guess follow us on Spotify. We didn't mention that last time.
Yes, our episodes are available on Spotify.
Yeah, we'll work on getting other stuff when we attract some more listeners. Start putting some money into this then.
Right now, this is just for fun. So.
Yeah. If you listen to this and you enjoy it, recommend it to your friends. Old word of mouth help us a lot. Post it where you can. We tried posting it to Squared Circle and it got removed.
I don't even know why.
I guess you can't promote your own podcast.
Whatever.
I don't know.
It is what it is. We'll figure it out eventually.
But,
look back on this someday when we actually have a following.
Final thoughts on our first Nitro experience?
This was a lot more frustrating than I thought it would be, and I'm a little nervous going forward.
Remember how I told you that it was going to be a little bit of a slog, and you watch like 2 matches from Halloween Havoc, and you're like, no, it's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I was talking about.
I was hopeful, damn it.
But we suffer for our art. We suffer for you. So we'll see you next time, starting with the November 12th Nitro on the Butts and Seats podcast.